everyone. Welcome to the new episode of This Will Make You Happier, your guide to your best life. And I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. It is Linn Purdon, and let me tell you a little bit about her, and then we're going to hear more about her energy alignment process, and she's even going to do an activity for us today. So as a young girl, Linn was aware of a life force energy flowing through everyone and everything. She felt it flowing in a continual, abundant, loving stream. And she was confused as to why people felt the need to talk because she could see this energy communicating all the time. When Linn spoke about this to other people, she realized that this wasn't a mainstream experience. In fact, she was led to believe that it made her evil. The thought that she could unintentionally harm someone horrified her so much that she did her best to cut herself off from the energy flow. Not surprisingly, she became ill and suffered with chronic and acute conditions, some of them life-threatening. It wasn't until she reclaimed her ability to reconnect her life energy that she began to heal. So Linn came to understand that we learn to either align with this flow and we flourish, or we alienate it and we let disease come into our lives. Over the years, she's developed what she calls her energy alignment system. It's a technique that uses this childhood gift to help others align to their own inner brilliance. And I just want to add on a personal note, when I first met Linn, she did this energy alignment process on me, and the results were really amazing because, first of all, we did it via Skype. We're on other sides of the world, and I wasn't even sure, is this even going to work? But oh my God, I felt the energy moving so powerfully, and it was, I could just feel things shifting. And after it was done, we would have a debrief, and she'd say, so while I was doing this, I saw this, that, and the other. And my jaw dropped because that was exactly what I had seen while she was doing this work. There was no way she could know what I was seeing, and I'm halfway across the world. So I knew then she's the real deal, and and I just felt so amazing afterwards. So I'm excited to share you with my audience, and that they get a chance to experience this energy alignment process too. So welcome, Linn.
Hi, thanks, Deb. It's great to be here.
So let me just start off and ask you, how do you experience this flow, this life energy flow?
Well, words are always rather tricky to explain something that really words can't explain. So I say that I see energy, but it's more than just seeing. It's a total whole body experience. So that the being that's me seems to become very opaque, and I can experience the energy moving through me, around me, and expanded way out, so that instead of being separate from everything, it's like I can experience everything as a whole, and have done ever since I was a child.
Wow, so you grew up seeing the world this way. I mean, what was that like?
Oh, well, on one hand, it was absolutely fabulous because, hey, what a great experience. And now that I fully embrace it and understand its wonder, it's fantastic. But as a child, it was so confusing to discover that other people weren't experiencing it that way. And of course, I instantly believed that made me wrong and bad. And so I tried to disconnect from it. And that was pretty awful.
That's that's a story I hear a lot with people who have special gifts that, are, I'd like to call them right brain gift, but even, mediumship and psychic and other healing modalities, I hear that a lot. That's a tough thing to grow up with.
Well, it certainly was. And it led to, as you were saying in the intro, there, lots of illness and I can really get it now. I can see why that would happen, because that life force, that opaque blending with the oneness is the life force. It is what I like to call inner brilliance, that part of me that's the truth of who I am. And trying to disconnect from that. And you can't really ever totally disconnect from it, but doing everything I could to put as much resistance between it and me was cutting off the energy, the life force that was feeding my body.
Hmm.
And so I became extremely ill, and very afraid of everything, because again, I wasn't standing in my power.
Right.
And of course, because I couldn't completely disconnect from it, I always felt like I was failing, because which is really quite hilarious when you look back at it, when you consider how many of us now are trying to move and train ourselves
Yes.
to get to that point. And there I was. I've spent a whole lifetime trying to do the reverse. So,
Right.
yes, quite agonising at times.
You use that, I love that expression that you use, your inner brilliance. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, the more that I've embraced this and taken it on proudly and decided that it's a good thing, and I'm not going to harm somebody with it, couldn't possibly. The great gift that's come for me is that not only has it helped me to heal and to live a much bigger and happier life, but I've been able to work with other people. And the more people I work with, the more that I can simplify it. It just comes down to very simple things, that I'm able to connect to that oneness, that universal amazing energy, and hold that very easily. Who knows why? Just can. And I'm able to, when I'm working with someone, it's like I can hold that vibration, so the person I'm working with can entrain to that energy. And when they do that, then they touch their own inner being, their own inner magnificence. And I call it inner brilliance, because that's how I see it. That's how I experience it. And it is one of the most delightful things for me to do, because as I'm helping someone else to experience that, I get to experience it too. And it is exquisite. It's just, and I just get so passionate about wanting to tell everybody that this is who they are. Everybody.
Yeah, this is our birthright, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it is who we are. And just particularly lately, it's been really coming to me a lot. What if we really all knew that, me included, because I forget in this crazy world, and really acted like it was true? Because I mean, it is true, but if we really acted like it was true, how would that change our own individual lives? But then how would it change our lives in a global setting? Amazing. So yes, inner brilliance for everybody.
Wonderful. It's a nice goal to pursue, right? Let's get the word out. So
Absolutely.
let me ask you, what are some of the benefits of doing this?
Oh, they're endless. Because I mean, it's again, I really like simple things. I like to keep things really, really easy and simple to understand. And the fact is, the way that I experience the world is that we have this enormous, extraordinary, limitless flow of this brilliance, of this well-being, and it's flowing all the time, and it's around us, it's through us. We are part of it and made of it. Now you can imagine, you can either be in that flow, and how that will feel, being in the brilliance and the flow and the rhythm. And when you're in that flow, things just turn up easily. You'd be thinking about something and there it is, or you've lost something and suddenly you find it. And not only in that sort of way, but your whole being starts to align again to that. So all the cells in your body are starting to come back into that lovely harmonic vibration. So they start to get the nutrition and the harmony that they need, so that your whole cell, because remember, we're not really this body, we're just a whole lot of vibrating particles, so that can all come into this beautiful harmony. So you're physically going to start to move and be graceful in the world in all levels, not just your physical, but emotional and mental and spiritual, and you're connecting to everything, absolutely everything.
So it really permeates all the different planes of existence.
Of course it does, absolutely, because it's all the same stuff, it's all the same energy. Now, you're either in that and flowing with that, or we do stuff like tell ourselves that we're bad or we're not good enough or we're not worthy, or look at stuff that really upsets us or read the news or whatever. And that shifts us from being in there and then focusing outside of that lovely flow, and that takes us out of that flow. So it's quite simple as I experience it. You're either standing in the flow and loving the flow and being in there and really getting all the benefits,
or you're outside.
You're caught up going off in another direction. And lately what I'm seeing, and this is just such a beautiful thing to have really got to understand, is that even when you've gone off there, that's okay, because it builds up the desire to be back in that flow even more, and experiencing that contrast, experiencing the difference helps you to actually appreciate love and motivate you to be more in that flow. So even
I love that.
it's
Because
okay.
I'm always trying to say, failure is just a learning opportunity. And, and so here, so going away from your inner brilliance, it's a learning opportunity, right?
Yeah.
You see how that feels, and then you see how it feels like when you're back in alignment with your inner
Absolutely.
brilliance, right?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, how long does it take for someone to get that alignment? Is it like one session and that's it, they're aligned? Should they do weekly for, how, in your experience?
Look, way that I said, again, really simply, it's like a muscle. If we've spent a lot of our time in our life learning to, I don't like to use the word disconnect because I don't think you ever really disconnect, but to look away from the well-being, then we've built a really good muscle, a really good distraction muscle, let's call it that, a really good distraction muscle. And so the first step is for people to get a taste of it, to remember. Taste, that's not really accurate either, because really all I help people do is remember, because we've all been there. Look at a baby. I mean, I think you'd find it hard to anybody to look at a baby and not recognise just how connected they are and how much their inner brilliance is shining. So it's just a case of me holding that space to let someone come back and remember and get a feel for that. And generally that will be, that will happen in that first session, where I'll be able to help people come into that space and to really drop in and to really feel it, and to trigger it off in that memory, not just your physical memory, but body memory and emotional and spiritual memory. And then usually what I'll help people do is create what I call touchstones. So we'll connect some images, or it could be something sensory, smell, words, whatever it comes for the person that means something for them, so that when I'm away, they've gone on with their life, right, they've got something to keep coming back to trigger that experience again, that feeling of their inner brilliance. And then usually you need to practice it. I mean, that's what it comes back to. You need to practice coming back to that. Mm-hmm. And obviously, some people find that if they have a session, then they come back in a couple of weeks or maybe a month, or even a month or two, when they're starting to find, I'm finding it hard to connect back in. And then I can just help them pop back in there again, get another experience of it, and help clear anything that's in the way of that. And then it's like just boosting that constantly. But it's like anything in life, we just need to practice it. And even though, look, obviously for whatever reason I've held on to that ability, I still have to be conscious that
you have to practice.
Oh, absolutely, because there's so many distractions. There's so many. Now, again, I don't want to use the word mistruth even, but there are so many other perceptions of what's going on in life, and it's easy to get caught up in other people's perceptions, or like I said, reading the news, and I really can see that things that we would call bad news or negative things, if I look at it from the world view, I can get caught up in that perception. But if I look at it from the inner brilliance point of view, then it looks very different, and it doesn't look like a bad thing. It actually looks like something that's working out in an energetic perfection. Mm-hmm. So I have to keep reminding myself when I find myself getting caught up in that world perception. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, no, it's such a great point, especially when you're surrounded by skeptics who are just so convinced that, half the world doesn't exist, right? I mean, people use the term supernatural. There's nothing supernatural about energy work and energy healing, and it's about as natural as it gets, but so many people are blind to that. It's like after a while, what was it, in 1984, 2 + 2 = 5? I don't remember. I'm probably completely moving.
No, I understand what you mean.
Eventually you believe it, so you have to keep reminding yourself, no, I'm the only sane person in the asylum here. So, all right. Are we ready for the activity?
Oh, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so what I'll be doing and what I have been doing is I've been connecting that energy into that oneness that I was talking about earlier. And so what I'm going to do now is to lead us all through. So it doesn't matter when you are listening to this. It could be months from now, years from now, if it's still around then. Although with the internet, things do hang around, don't they?
Well, I hope this show will be around for a very long time. Thank you.
So what I'm going to do is just lead us into a quiet space, and I'm going to run. I call running energy. Simply what it means is I connect into that entrained place and just allow, and I'll talk you through coming into that. It's going to be a very short experience of it. For some, you'll be able to get there straight away. For others, maybe not, but that's okay. It'll give you a taster. And just and I'll help to keep that energy moving so that even when you're finished listening to this, you'll be able to have a sense of that and keep it going in your life.
Great.
You ready to go?
I'm ready. Should I close my eyes?
Yes, feel free. You can close them, keep them open, whatever's comfortable for you. There are no really any rules here. Just be comfortable. I'm going to close mine so that I can really connect in. And a great way to start, of course, is to use the breath because, and something that I've just really started to get my mind around here is the breath is much more than oxygen. It's actually spirit. So that when we're breathing in, we're actually taking in all the energy of the universes inside of us and benefiting from that, the inner brilliance of all of that. So when you're breathing in, just bring that to mind. So we're breathing in and out. We're breathing in the brilliance of the universe. And out. And in. And out. And now just become aware of where you're sitting or laying down, wherever you are. Become aware of your feet and how it's making contact with the floor. And let your body really sink down. Just imagine that your whole body is dropping away. Dropping down and dropping away. It's almost like you're taking a skin off. So from the top of your head, all the way down the arms, down the front of the body, the back of the body, all the way down into the waistline, and then right down. I'm getting the image of taking a onesie off. Oh, I don't know. Does everybody know what a onesie is?
Yeah, I think so.
All in one suit. You imagine that you're unzipping. You're unzipping from the top all the way down and just letting it all come off. And under that onesie is a beautiful glowing light. It's crystalline. It's infused with the most brilliant divine energy. We're allowing all the old perceptions of who you may be or who you thought you were and who you've been told you were to slip away. We're allowing that to gather down, all those perceptions down by your feet, taking it off just as easily as you would clothing, and then allow it to disappear into the earth. Down, 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 deeply into the earth. And there you are, shining in your magnificence. I'm in training now. I'm glowing this beautiful, universal, bright energy in a brilliance light. And I want you to see that you're beautiful spirit self is moving towards that energy. It's coming closer and closer, and as it does, the alignment is changing. You can feel your vibration come into a higher level. It's lifting, releasing, humming, dancing. I have an image of a spine lengthening, and there's all this room to breathe and to move, and lights dancing in and around the vertebra. And that's the metaphysical vertebra of your inner brilliance. It's lengthening, it's dancing. And now at this point, take another slow, long, deep, universal breath in. And as you breathe out, expand into that brilliance. Expand, expand. There you go. I can feel it. We're just going to run the energy here. Run the energy, and I'd like you to bring to mind something that represents your inner brilliance. It might be a thought, it might be a picture, it might be a smell, it might be a scene, it might be a person. Anything, something that will remind you of the truth of who you are. And once you have that, then allow it to be infused. The energy's flowing, it's beautiful. There's a lot of alignment and entrainment happening in this moment. So imagine you're taking whatever that image is for you, and imagine that you're putting it into a stream of well-being, a stream of inner brilliance, so that it can align into your highest perfection. Beautiful perfection. It's just stunning. That's it, aligning it. And when you feel that it's aligned, imagine bringing it back and putting it into your heart. And as it goes into your heart, it spreads throughout this wonderful spiritual perfection of inner brilliance that's you. It's spreading up and spreading down. And be really ready for that sense of everything coming into alignment with your well-being, with your wholeness, with your magnificence. Oh, and trust me, this is who you are. I can see it. I can see this massive, global, beautiful, inner, brilliant, fabulous beings. And let me tell you again and again and again, this is who you are. This is the truth of who you are. Maybe there has not ever been anyone that has seen your truth until this moment. It's time to let that go. It's time to let other people's perception of you go. Just let it go. Constantly let them go and let them drain down into the earth, where it can be made into other things. The word that comes to mind is made into compost. Where it can be recycled, let it go and come back into that knowing of the truth of who you are. Lead with this place. Lead with this stunning, glorious image of who you are. And each and every one of you has this unique vibration that is truly your own version of your inner brilliance. We're all vibrating in harmony with each other at this level, but we are all unique. Claim it now. Move from this place. Lead from this glorious place that's you. My heart is just expanding and bursting with delight at meeting you all in this space. It's just glorious. Now, holding this feeling, remembering the image, that touchstone, and remembering it's in your heart and it's spread through your being. And that energy is going on. And for the next several days, I will keep topping up this energy. So it will get more and more intense. It'll help you to keep coming back, and keep coming back. And now getting ready to integrate this back into the physical realm. I want you to imagine that you're now turning and walking along a beautiful pathway anywhere in nature. It's the perfect temperature. You're feeling very comfortable and very safe. And you're noticing your feet again, walking along this beautiful pathway. And as you do, you're becoming more solid in your body. You're bringing back that physicality. And it's joining harmoniously with that wonderful inner brilliance truth of you. And so it's coming up your knees and up the thighs, harmoniously aligning all the way up into your torso, up into your shoulders and down your arms, neck and head. You're fully stepping back in, but you're stepping back into a brand new body and a brand new being. So as you come to the end of the pathway and you're about to walk back into your life, really acknowledge to yourself that this time you come back with your cells, with your mind, with your emotion, and with your spirit, and with your inner brilliance, all in alignment and all in harmony, and you're starting a new life. And step in now. And as you expand into that, become aware of where you are, your room, and very gently and gradually bringing yourself back. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I've got tears. It was so lovely.
Wow. Now, I'm someone who meditates regularly, and I have been for years and years and years, and I do creative visualizations, but that was so intense. It was wonderful. It was really wonderful. And now I feel like, okay, I really don't feel like asking any more questions. I'm done.
I felt like we just all should dance. It was so delightful. I love the energy and the brilliance, and I can still feel it. I can feel everybody, there's energy there, and it is such a celebration. And again, I can't say strongly enough, keep coming back to that, because my greatest passion is to see people living from that space, that joy and that delight. And sometimes when I work with children and they're already aligned there, and then I think, what a shame we don't stay there because we end up needing to undo it all again later on.
Yeah, it's funny. It reminds me of an expression I learned in Germany, how there's an expression how you spend your first 6 years learning how to run and talk, and then you spend the next 12 learning how to sit down and shut up. Yeah.
That's pretty true, isn't it?
So we're born in alignment, and then we lose it, and then we spend our adulthood trying to get it back.
I love trying to get it back. Yeah. And it just doesn't have to be that way. And I think the more of us adults that can do this work and can claim it, then we can be there to support children to stay in that, or at least learn how to connect when they disconnect so they can keep coming back into that. Great passionate for that. I just would love to see that happening.
I would love to see it in the schools. Wouldn't it be nice if we're part of like a mandatory curriculum? Now, I have heard of some schools that are integrating some yoga and meditation, which I also think is a great way. Yeah. So let me ask you, so listeners can actually re-listen to this activity whenever they want to, right? When they want to practice, and they can do it. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, fantastic.
So is there anything else that you want to add about this energy alignment process and how it can make people happier, or how do people usually respond to it when you do it?
Sure. Well, it's because it's actually not me doing anything. It's your own inner energy that's doing it. All I'm doing is holding a space to allow you to come into alignment. with that, then the results are just varied and miraculous because it's whatever is needed. And there's incredible divine wisdom in this inner brilliant energy that we're talking about. And I'm so grateful that this is how it works, because I wouldn't want the responsibility of trying to work out what people need. So really all I need to do is just hold that space and let it happen. And so it's extraordinary, some of the things that have happened. I've had people had pain instantly disappear and never come back. I've had people suddenly get really clear on a business plan or what's been holding them back, or even a mode, the way they were working in their business. Because the other thing is I can hold that energy also, but I also get, as I'm talking to people with their permission and I'm running their energy, I can get lots of advice and images coming through that I can then interpret and give to them. And there's one person I'm thinking of in particular, where what was coming through was, do you do this way rather than that way is what's coming through. This is what is really in alignment with you. And she did that and everything just changed. It was just amazing to see that. So, it can be as mundane, I guess, as making a business decision, or it can be a life issue. It can be spiritual. For some people, they're on an incredibly deep and profound spiritual path, and I've worked with people in that regard, and it's really helped them to develop their own inner skills, and they've gone on to help other people with similar sort of thing, but it's their brand. I mean that in a spiritual way. Their way of working with people in the world. It can help with there's some people who have some really big physical challenges, either with their bodies or with their families, and it's helped with that. So look, really anything.
So it really can help with any aspect of a person's life.
Because we're energy,
Yes.
We are energy, and what we're doing is working with the energy. So, and as I said, it's universal wisdom, not mine. So whatever is correct for that person at that time. And I think that's the other thing I love about this, is that it's done with that divine wisdom. So people aren't pushed too far, too hard, and I'm really acutely guided to be, to work gently with people where they need it, or, to give them clear pictures when they need that. Every session is totally different. It's never the same. So that's the other bit that I love about it, because I never know either. Here goes. Let's see what happens.
Well, I'm still feeling lightheaded. That was
I can feel it too. Yeah.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynn. I'm so excited that we were able to do this on the show today. And I look forward to hearing from listeners about your experiences. So write something in the comments.
I'd love to hear that.
Okay. So thank you for staying with us for this episode of This Will Make You Happier, and see you next time.
Bye.